No matter where you work or what your career is, each of us will deal with many problems throughout our lives, especially in the workplace. Sometimes workplace problems can be very hard to identify the causes of due to so many different people working together to perform a task. Sometimes it can be confusing to remember who is supposed to do what and why a task wasn't completed properly. One tool that is very useful in order to find the causes of a problem is known as the Fishbone diagram or the cause and effect diagram. Today I will be telling you why the Fishbone diagram is useful, how to use it, and I will also provide you with an example of the Fishbone diagram. I will begin by telling you why the Fishbone diagram is useful. The Fishbone diagram is a tool that combines brainstorming with a type of mind mapping that allows you to analyze a problem and come to conclusion what the main causes of the problem were. A Fishbone diagram can be very useful in many different settings. It allows you to focus on one thing and get a group of people together to discuss why that thing might have occurred and how you might fix that problem. The Fishbone diagram allows you to identify what the root cause of the problem was instead of just trying to fix small problems that you think might be a big deal. When you identify the root cause of the problem, you can then work towards fixing it, which will then allow all the other problems to resolve themselves. I will now tell you how to use the Fishbone diagram. The Fishbone diagram got its name due to the fact that it resembles the skull of a fishbone. As you can see, the head of the fish, or the box right here, is where you would insert the main issue or the main problem that you are trying to find the causes of. Then the line going off of the head has bones coming off of it that identifies each of the main causes that you can see in the problem. The one that I have written up is an example of a manufacturing problem. Therefore, the labels are machines, methods, materials, personnel, measurements, and environment. You can change these based on what type of problem you are dealing with. The main causes can be whatever you identify them to be. Those were just my examples. As you can see, a Fishbone diagram is very simple to follow, it's very simple to read, and because of that, it is a very good tool to use. It allows you to simply write out all of your data into one diagram, and then you can analyze it later. Also, if you look at the diagram, coming off of each of the main bones, you will then insert little bones that identify what the causes of those specific causes were. So you have a main cause, and then you will continue listing the reasoning that those causes ever occurred to begin with. Now that I have showed you how to use a diagram, I will now tell you an example of the diagram. A Fishbone diagram, as I said, is very simple to use, so here I have written out an example. This example that I have written out shows the main problem being a missed deadline. I will mainly focus on the missed deadline of a construction problem, where the problem was that the lights were not installed on time. So as you can see, once you identify the main problem, you will then begin by labeling your main causes. So in this case, I use the main causes that I listed earlier: the environment, the measurements, the people, the methods, the materials, and the machines. So underneath the personnel tab, I have that the construction team was understaffed. Now once you identify that the construction team was understaffed, you can then identify why they were understaffed and go from there. And then you'll get to the main cause, which could be something like the company was unsafe to work for, so people kept quitting. So then you could fix that cause, which could then result in people wanting to work with the company, which could result to tasks being completed on time. And if you keep going, on the materials tabs, I have that one of the causes of materials being a problem is due to the shortage of materials. Now then you would be able to list all the causes as to why the shortage of materials is an issue. This could be because the order wasn't placed on time, or too many of the lights got broke in the process, and so you were then short. The diagram will then continue on until you identify all the main causes, and then you will be able to socialize with your group and understand how you can continue on the process of fixing the problem. In conclusion, it is impossible to avoid problems in the workplace. That's why it's important to develop tools that can allow you to fix the problems. Today I have showed you how the fishbone diagram can help you identify all the causes of the problems. I've showed you how the fishbone diagram is useful, how you actually use one, and also I provided you with an example. I hope that next time you are in the workplace and you identify a problem, you will consider using the fishbone diagram.